This viral short-form editing style is blowing up all over social media, and for a reason. It has its own identity, clean design, minimal graphics, simple shapes, and smooth animations that instantly dominate the viewer's attention. It looks like a complex process, but it's actually super beginner-friendly. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to create this style using just CapCut. By the end of this video, you'll know how to create your own edit like this from scratch. So, let's get to work. First, let's understand how this style actually works. I explored this style a bit, and here's the breakdown I came across. Most of these edits follow a clean white background, often combined with subtle shadows and light overlays. Then you'll see objects, shapes, or characters added to give the frame more detail. Now, this style mainly comes in three types. First, object-centered. A single object stays at the center, and the entire animation is built around it. Second, character-based. A character is placed in the center, and everything else supports it. And third, text-centered. The main focus is words in the middle, with shapes and elements built around them. Once you understand these three structures, creating this style becomes much easier. So first, let's create this object-centered animation. First of all, click on this layout button and select vertical. This gives you a larger preview for 9:16 ratio videos. Then go to the library tab. In the background section, you'll find a white background. Add it to the timeline and scale it up to fully cover the screen. Next, we're going to add a soft shadow to the solid background. You can use shadow overlays, but since this animation is simple, go to the adjust tab and decrease white to around -40. Then go to the mask tab, add a film strip mask, click the reverse button, and set the feather to around 75. Now adjust the mask size to fit your frame. Now, you can see it already has a soft shade. The background is ready. Next, I add this green screen brain video. Go to the speed tab and set it to 2 times because the original animation is a bit too slow. Split and cut it as needed. Then go to remove BG and select chroma key. Remove the green screen and set the intensity to around 75 for clean edges. Now go to adjust and reduce saturation to -50, then slightly increase exposure and contrast to around 10. Now, we're going to create a shadow. Duplicate the layer, then go to curves and pull the graph all the way down to make it black. Place this layer underneath the main clip. Add a blur effect, set it to maximum, and add another blur for extra smoothness. Then set the opacity to around 60. Now you've got a clean 3D rotating animation. Next, add a circle shape layer and place it below the brain animation. Scale it up to around 205 and set the color to dark gray. To animate it, add a transform keyframe at the beginning. Move forward about 1 second and add a second keyframe. Go back to the first frame and set the scale to around 50. Then right-click and enable variable speed animation and adjust the scale graph for smooth motion. After that, hide the graph editor. Select both brain layers and create a compound clip. Next, add a text layer and type a few dash marks. Set the color to dark gray, enable curve, and push it to maximum. Set font size to around 13. Add type 1 animation and set the duration to 1.5 seconds. You can adjust more dashes with slightly smaller sizes for variation. Now, for the main text, add a new text layer and type your first word. Set the color to dark gray. Place it here. I changed the font to SF Pro Display Bold, set the size to around 30, and add a type 2 animation. Add a square shape and resize it to match the text box. Set the color to dark gray, place it below that main text. Then add the second text layer, type your second word, and adjust the font and size. Place it inside the box. Select the shape layer and apply a slide right animation. Then add type 1 animation to the text layer. Now, move forward about 15 frames, add another text layer, and type the third word. Adjust font, size, and color to dark gray. After that, add a decorative text layer with multiple lines of small text. This is just for background detail. Feel free to customize it. Set color to dark gray, font size to around 5, and use a thin font. Next, go to the Shape tab. Select the pen tool and draw a curved line for texture. This adds subtle background detail. Once done, select all pen shapes and create a compound clip. Add a circle mask, enable reverse, and set keyframes at the beginning and around 1.5 seconds. Adjust the mask movement between keyframes to create smooth animation and set opacity to around 50. After that, select all layers and create another compound clip. Go to Effects and add Chromatic Quirk. Adjust it lightly for a subtle glitch. Then add a blur effect. Set a keyframe at the first frame and adjust the blur to 20. Now move forward about 20 frames and set the blur to 0. Finally, select the animation layer, add a transform keyframe, move to around 1 second, and add the second keyframe. Go back and set scale to 130 and rotation to 10. Open the keyframe graph, set it to cubic ease. And now your first scene is complete. Now let's see the process of making this character-based animation. First, add the white background like before. Then add this grid overlay and set the opacity to around 10. Add a circle mask, increase the size slightly and set the feather to 40. Next, add a square shape and adjust the size like this. Change the color to a gradient. Pick a light color first, then a darker one for shading. I'm using light blue and deep blue. After that, set the rotation to 460 and increase the corner radius to around 25. Now, add your character. Adjust the size based on your preference and place it on the shape like this. Don't keep it fully inside. Let part of the character come outside the box. You can also tweak the shape size to match your character. The final placement should look like this. Now, let's animate the character. Select the character layer and add a transform keyframe at the beginning. Then move forward about 2 seconds and add another keyframe. Go back to the first frame. Decrease the size and position and place the character fully inside the rectangle. Now when you play it, you'll see a smooth zoom-in animation. Right-click the layer, go to Show Variable Speed Animation, and set Cubic Out to make the motion smooth. Next, convert the character into a compound clip, then add a rectangle mask to cut out unwanted areas. Adjust it to fit the rectangle shape and set the corner radius to around 10. Now it looks like the character is smoothly popping out from the shape. To add depth, create a shadow like before. Duplicate the character layer, go to curves, and pull it all the way down to make it black. Place it behind the character. Adjust the mask to keep it inside the shape. Then add a blur effect. Set blur to around 100 and reduce opacity to about 50. Now the character animation is done. From here, it's all about details. Add some text elements, like the character's name, a quote, or a short line about the character. Use different fonts and sizes, and place them around the composition. Then apply simple animations to them. After that, add a pen shape layer and draw a curved line like this. Set the color to light gray, increase the weight to maximum, then scale it slightly. Reduce the opacity, then add a split mask. Add a mask keyframe at the beginning, position it so the line is hidden, and set feather to around 30. Move forward about 1 second, then move the mask to reveal the line. Now select all layers and create a compound clip. Add a transform keyframe at the beginning, move to around 2 seconds, and add another keyframe. Go back to the first frame and set the scale to around 125. Open the graph editor and apply Cubic Out. Finally, add a wide-angle effect and set the size to around 20 for a subtle 3D depth. And just like that, your character animation is complete. Alright, finally, let's create this text-centered animation. Add the white background to the timeline and scale it up to fully cover the screen. Next, add a text layer and type your main word. Use a large, bold font. I'm using a font called Gondens. Enable stroke and set the thickness to 1. Then increase the font size to around 200. You can also add italic for a more dynamic look. Place it in the center and reduce the opacity to around 20 so it acts like a background text. Then add a shadow overlay, scale it up, and set the opacity to around 10. Now let's move to the main text composition. Here's a quick tip. When creating text animations like this, always start by placing your main word in the center using a bold font. Add a subtle shadow to it. Then place supporting words around it to build the compositions. Once your layout is done, you can add animations, but for this style, it's more minimal, so don't overdo it. Next, add this 3D key animation clip. Go to the Speed tab and set it to around 0.40, since the original animation is a bit too fast. Move to around the 3-second mark and add a transform keyframe. Adjust the scale and rotation to your preference. Then go back to the first frame, reset the rotation to 0, and position it slightly lower like this. Open variable speed animation, go to the Y graph, and apply quad ease. Do the same for the rotation graph. Now, draw a curve line using the pen tool. Set the weight to around 40. Convert it into a compound clip, then adjust the size and place it like this. Set the opacity to around 40. After that, select all layers and create a compound clip. Add a transform keyframe at the beginning, move forward to around 3 seconds, and set the scale to 120. Open the graph editor and apply cubic ease to the scale graph. Now you've got a smooth 3D text-centered animation. So as you saw, it's not such an impossible task. Once you understand the structure, it becomes way easier. I've included the assets I used, link in the description. Now it's your turn. Go try it out and make it your own. See you next time.